Their number one goalie also is not.
And their number 2 goalie.
Like,
they're on their 3rd goalie. And Hildeby's been great, and he goes again tonight.
Well, now we're getting close to a point where it's like, oh, don't play Hildeby too much. Workload.
I'm waiting for that article.
Oh, actually, James Myrtle and I were talking about that this week. I think he's overdoing it a bit. Like, let's relax.
What do you mean, in terms of the idea of skipping a start for Hildeby?
Yeah.
You got to play him, right, Jonas?
If we're like a week from now and like Woll still isn't back, then it's like, okay, maybe you got to mix in a game for Akhtiamov.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, he's not going to play every single game if Woll and Stolarz are out.
Might.
Well, he's going to play tonight, Saturday, and Tuesday.
Yeah.
They're all home games. He's a young guy. And if I'm Hildeby, I am pleading to play me. I want to stay in the National Hockey League.
Hey,
I want to play.
They have twice this year overplayed their goalie to the point that the goalie got hurt. And now if they overplay this goalie, the next guy has never played.
We don't even know what Stolarz' injury is.
You were right.
But
he just skated off the ice and was never seen again.
I take issue with that idea.
You like that?
No, I take issue with it that they overplayed Joseph Woll.
Did.
He played 7 games.
He played 8 of 9 games.
So
coming
what?
off missing training camp, he is injury prone. Like, what do you mean?
But that's the point that needs to be brought up.
And
he is injury prone.
And your other guy disappeared.
We don't yell like that on this show. I
do.
Just want to let you know.
But that's on, again, Stolarz. The Stolarz story is, you're around the team. Is he around? Do you see him? Do you hear?
Seen him. I mean, he was in a picture after the game the other night.
Right.
So, like, he's there somewhere. I've not seen him.
Yeah, it's a Pokeroo vibe now.
It's the weirdest thing.
But, again, those were scenarios
that's a factor.
where...
Like, you have to consider that. If your number 1 goalie is hurt and your number 2 goalie, or whatever, 1B, has had a lot of injuries in the past... Maybe take it easy. Like, maybe mix in a start for the other guy. Just because, like, you don't want to be in this situation where it's Hildeby, Akhtiamov for
I'm just not convinced it would have mattered.
Okay.
That's my point.
You're right.
It's Joseph Woll. They could have said, you're off for a week, and then he comes back, plays, knee injury, I'm out. I don't think...
He's never been able to play
he
like
never
that.
can.
Right, so you just know that, no?
Or you just say, you know what? He happens to be healthy right now. I have to play him. Because I don't care if I play him once a month or if I play him back-to-back games in 4 and 5 nights. It's just as likely he's not going to be able to play for me.
I mean, the head coach
he's just going to get hurt.
Of the team is literally on record like 3 weeks before saying, like, we got to manage his workload.
What is it?
But it's all relative based on the standings and who else is available and where you are for the year.
Jonas, a big picture point that we brought up a couple of weeks ago is, if this is the case, how would you ever expect to get to the promised land? Great promised land in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If we're talking about 2-week segments, 7 games every other day, and you can't get through that, how would anyone ever expect them to get to the promised land anyway?
It's a great point. I don't know. Like, both goalies are the same. Like, you don't, like, are you confident that both goalies could play two months if they needed to? Every other night?
As of right now,
the
no.
grind of playoff games? Like, no.
But that's my question, Jonas. And I'm not expecting you to have the answer. I mean, it's not like we have a surgeon in here. Is it actually the grind of playing, or is it just the way they're built? Is it their mentality that it's like, I'm not playing through this?
Common sense, where if you have a guy who has suffered injuries every single year of his career,
so what is
maybe
reasonable?
I'm not going to like overtax him.
What is reasonable then?
Well,
You're Joseph Woll. Like, let's say he returns as of Saturday night.
Yeah. Let me just throw in one part. He makes $3.5 million, I think. So a $3.5 million NHL goaltender. What the hell is the expectation? You got to get 2 or 3 games a month, and then that's all good. You earn your paycheck.
No,
like, you get paid to play in the NHL whenever you're called upon.
But you guys are talking about.
I get it. There's sports science, and I get it. You can't wear a guy down. But to talk about 7 games,
it was 8 of 9, and I know what you're saying, but you're saying like ideal world. It's not an ideal world. Like, he has been hurt all the time. So let's take a big picture approach and say, you know what, that Carolina game, we're going to give that to Hildeby. We want to make sure we don't overtax this guy and he gets hurt. And now he misses a month. And now we don't have Stolarz and Stolarz and Woll for a month. You know what I mean? Like, you almost have to think beyond just the one game. And that's what they haven't done.
Are you convinced that would actually avoid injury?
But I don't know. But I know that, like, the likelihood of him getting hurt by playing more is higher. Like, it's just, isn't it? Common sense.
I don't know. I mean, he's gone in the past where he hasn't played much and then he just gets banged up.
Look and start.
Like when he went into the playoffs and he couldn't play, he had taken over for Samsonov, right? Hadn't played.
Right.
Sit there, you stretch, everyone's ready, then all of a sudden they need him for Game 7, can't go.
Why do they have innings limits in pitching
Very different. And again, there's context involved in that. If you're coming off Tommy John, sure, but you're not.
Shane Bieber. This guy is.
But you're not. But that's not who he is.
It is.
No, it's not. He doesn't have
his
major reconstructive injuries.
Was last year, and I think he was at like 43, something like that. And when
has he had major reconstructive surgery?
He hasn't that I know of. He's been hurt every single year.
I understand that. I get that. And Stolarz. I get that.
That's why, like, even the Stolarz thing, like that. There's a lot to that one, but like he was playing all the time, and it's like, well,
also playing poorly.
Also playing poorly, but like he had never played that much. It's like he gets hurt. What do you think's going to happen? I don't know. Like I don't know how you could fight me on this.
Oh, I will fight you on this.
Right.
I don't take issue with the Leafs on this.
Wow.
Like I think the Leafs are taking all these bullets. Like you just got to bubble wrap guys.
You
and
have to be
if you
cognizant
do this,
of who they are.
Like also, if I asked you to, Travis Green said the other day, it's a win-loss league, and you're trying to win every game. Everybody says the head coach puts together a lineup to say I got to give my team the best chance to win tonight.
That's great. So why not play Matthews 30 minutes a night?
Well, we had the conversation about Matthews, you and I, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And prior to him coming back, and I said I think it's imperative he plays because your season's dying. You're the captain. You're in year 10. Mm-hmm. You're not going to play now. When are you ever going to play? And your reaction was, well, what if he could tweak? Like, yeah, he could. Maybe he could. Or he could come back and play well and help them win. Like, that's...
Fair.
I get it's not a perfect science.
I just think those specific cases, you have to take the context of the player into question. If you don't, you're just asking for trouble, and then they got trouble.
And it's self-inflicted. If this is just the reality with these two guys, and it may well be the rest of their careers,
it literally
then
is.
How did they get to a point where they decided these are our two goalies now for the next 3 or 4 years?
I mean, it's
because this GM is committed to both guys.
You're right. They committed to Woll a year prior, like it was before last season.
And that was Tree Living that gave him the deal.
Yeah, and then they commit to Stolarz before the start of this season.
Right. Again, Tree Living.
Right. And you can pick it apart and be like, well, why did they do that? But like in both cases, like I didn't agree with the Woll extension at the time. I thought you just wait.
Mm-hmm.
But you understand it. Like he's young, he has upside, et cetera, et cetera. Stolarz played really well last year. Didn't play a lot.
If he does it again,
right? If he can give
you
40 starts and Woll gives you 40 starts, but Jeff's question is the right one. It's like, is that combination going to be able to win you a cup?
You talked about that game in Carolina. Do you not think they went up to Joseph Woll and said, "Hey, what do you think about going in Carolina?"
But that's the wrong thing to do.
What are you talking about, man? You ask your athlete, "You good to go in Carolina?"
They're always going to say yes. They're not going to They're not going to know what's best. You have to do what's best for them. Like I asked Craig Berube before that game. I was like, "Are you thinking about starting Hildeby in one of the next two?" He's like, "I don't know. Like we'll see." And it's like, shouldn't you be thinking like, you know what? This guy's played a lot. He missed training camp.
See, I'm not convinced that Joseph Woll is wired the way you just described it. Like
Woll, he would have said, "Yeah, no, I need."
I think. I mean, this guy's had multiple opportunities to play in Game 7s. I'm not doing it. Can't play. You don't think they went to him and said, "We could really use you playing"? I don't think they said, "Sorry, we talked to the doc. You can't go tonight. Game 7, but we're not going to push it." I think Joseph Woll is very comfortable in saying, "I can go or I can't go." And
to miss a Game 7, you have to be very comfortable saying, "I can't go in this game."
Exactly.
Like Game 7, everyone's standing around with broken limbs and they do whatever they can to get on the ice.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of shocking stuff that we've seen with this team over the years. That's like, I don't know if that's in the top 5, but it's in the top 10.
One of the more wild scenarios of all time.
It's
top 5. Yeah, it might be top 5.
Day of, wait a minute, who's playing tonight?
Yes.
Dude, I was like, we had to do Sports Center panels and
I remember CJ called me. He's like, "Yeah, there's word that like Woll might not play." It's like, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember Drake telling me Joseph Woll didn't get off the bus. He's not. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So,
but what do you do, right? Like, so let's say like you decide these guys can't take us where we need to go. They wanted Markstrom. Like they tried to get Markstrom. They couldn't get Markstrom.
Maybe Dennis Hildeby's the guy.
Maybe.
Dude, I would give him. I
have no idea.
I told these guys, give him the net until he flames out. Or
I thought that was a great point. I'll give you that. To your point, like the other guys haven't like.
Thanks.
They haven't. They're not. It's not Vasilevsky. Like if the other guy plays well,
right? Doors wide open. Look at Montreal tonight. Fowler's playing.
Sure, plays well.
And if he plays, they're not going to Sam Montembeault.
Yeah. If Hildeby's good again tonight, he should get the game on Saturday night against the Oilers. I don't care if the other two both declare themselves healthy. I said it yesterday. They can flip a coin. to which one goes on the bench with a hat and the other one goes up in the stands.
Well, Woll is likely going to be available Saturday. No guarantees.
I'm never assuming anything.
No guarantees, but he practiced again today, and he can technically come off IR on Saturday.
Man,
maybe Hildeby will need a breather.
I know it's old school, and it wasn't like that long ago that I played, but if you took the ice, there was kind of an expectation that you were going to play. There was no 5 days of skating and then test this or test that. It was like, oh, okay, you did 2 laps, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I look at it like, the reality of their history is what it is. It likely will be their future. I think the play is, if they're healthy and hot, you play them.
Let me ask you this,
because there's no way of stopping it. They're going to get banged up.
So Woll comes back. Whenever he comes back, you're just going to play him all the time. Like, you're not going to have any restraints. We're not going to be careful. Maybe start him twice a week instead of 3 times. I don't know.
I guess that's possible. Sure.
You're in charge. That's not what you would do. So you guys are totally anti.
Well, again, no. He's not playing back to backs. I mean, that goes without saying. Like, no one's suggesting that. If they have a crazy schedule, like, I wasn't sure he would play in Washington because it was the afternoon game where he played in Columbus and had a big workload 2 nights before.
Fair.
I thought maybe give him that day off, play him in Pittsburgh the next night. They didn't do that, but within reason, Jonas. I'm not saying I expect 70 starts out of this guy. That's not the world.
But when you play him 8 of 9, that's what you're doing. You're putting him on that pace. I don't know. I just thought they were asking for trouble. That was not hindsight. That I thought that at the time.
I think desperate times call for desperate measures too.
Yeah, but then
their
then you
season
could just
was going
kill
down.
Your season, right? What would we be saying if Hildeby hadn't come in these last couple games? And we'll see where this goes.
He's played really well.
But let's say he was awful, and Woll, instead of having to miss a week, and who knows how long.
Do you think Berube and True Living would take the heat for that?
100%. Why guys would be very upset for sure.
But I think I'd look at the player and say, man, we need you to stay healthy here.
When you're the Toronto Maple Leafs with the expectation they had, the desperation you have for victories and to get points and to get back into it. And if you have to ask a guy, look, we're desperate right now, you got to play. And the one goalie skated off in Boston and nobody knows what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
So how can you blame the organization? Is it the organization's fault that he skated off the ice and disappeared into thin air?
They're not blameless. I don't know what the injury is. They've never said. They've decided not to say. I don't know.